you're live.
We are live. Welcome everyone to the typical Nothing Has Changed 11 a.m. Monday morning Central Time here in beautiful Warrenville, Illinois, where our office is at. I'm not going to tell you the address because I don't want you sending us death threats. And Warrenville, Illinois, in the United States of America, on Earth, in our solar system, in our galaxy, in our universe. So let's go ahead and say hi. What's the best way to sell my timeshare? Not here. Sorry, Brian. No, but I would say hire a good marketing person. Unfortunately, timeshare has a really bad rap. But let's see. Hola! Exclamation point. Directe manmente desde Miami. Lol. Oh, LOL. What's up? Hey, what's going on, Joel? I'm so sorry I can't speak Spanish. If you can't tell by the way I look, I don't speak Spanish, although I wish I spoke Spanish. Hey, what's up, man? From Miami. Hope it's nice down there. I'm actually buying some properties in Florida right now, so shout out to you, my sir. So what's going on, everyone? Let's see how many
It's
people.
11 o'clock, Daniel.
It's 11 o'clock. It is 11 o'clock. Hello again. That's right. Why did we play rap music and cause a celebration? Because we got a new studio background. Not that it matters with us sharing the content, but we like it, therefore you must like it as well. So we got this really, really cool background. A very quick shout out to Sam, who spent his entire Saturday cutting up the wood to put it together. And also the TV. We got the TV in there as well, just so we could have movie nights in our office. But more importantly for you guys, right? For you guys, so that we could show stuff, we could show numbers, we could show a lot of different things, and you know, the tools that we are able to use to provide you guys with more content and with more value is absolutely key to us, because the more that we're able to have as tools and resources, the better that we could serve you guys, and the better that, and you know, we don't have to do this, you know, in all honesty, we don't make a whole lot of money from YouTube, but we do it because, you know, we want to love, we want to serve, and we care about bringing the best quality content to you guys watching at home, you guys watching this live stream, watching this recording, watching all of our videos, especially to our subscribers. So we want to do the best we can to help and serve you guys. So from us to you, Kwak Brothers, we will never ever stop putting our best foot forward in terms of giving you guys the best quality content. So let's go ahead and begin with the content without further ado, because the reason why we're here is for me to sit at this ebony table and sit on this chair and provide you guys with as much content as you can, with you providing the questions and me providing the answers, thus calling this a live mastermind session. So we already have some questions here. Brian Armstrong asked, how long does it normally take to pay off a $25,000 home equity line of credit? Well, I'm going to save that question for Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central Time. I'm going to do a little plug for Sam, because that's when he answers all the HELOC stuff. And I know when we were young kids, he would always hate it when I would steal his thunder, because of my natural God-given ability and talents. It was so easy for me to do it, not just with him, but with everyone. In a lot of situations, I have to tone it down because I'm just too talented. No. But in all seriousness, that's a HELOC question, and you know, Sam is definitely the expert with that arena, and so I'm gonna allow him to give a more in-depth answer. So I can give you an answer now, and you know, I would say it obviously depends with what your cash flow is and what your interest rate is, and a lot of the scenario that's going on, whether it's fixed expenses or alternative expenses and, you know, adjustable expenses, right? I'm gonna allow Sam to answer that question. Rob asked, owner has mortgage. I would like to conduct a subject to deal to buy and hold long term. Is that ideal? Should I put the insurance under my name / LLC or leave it in the owner's name? It's a 4-unit. Okay. So for those of you guys that don't know, there's a lot that Rob just asked in that question there. I see 3 question marks total, right? But there's a lot that Rob kind of just asked there, and let me just kind of just unpack it and unravel what's kind of going on. So for those guys that don't know, Rob is asking that right now. So let's do this. Okay. So owner has mortgage. Let's write it down on the whiteboard. I'm gonna try and break it down as much as I can for you guys because I ran a Saturday mastermind this past Saturday, and I was told that I can go 1,000,000 miles per hour. So I'm gonna try and go as slowly as I possibly can and break it down for you. All right, so here we have a nice little property. It's a 4-unit, so there you go, 4-unit. Right now, it's under the owner's name, so property, right? It's currently ownership with the owner. Well, let's call him the seller for now. So we got seller, right? Actually, let me go ahead and do this. Seller. And then there's you. And Rob, I don't know what you look like, but I'm going to give you a nice full head of hair. I'm going to give you Asian eyes. There you go. Some biceps and triceps. You have no elbows, unfortunately. And then I'm going to just give you some nice abs. There you go. But you skip leg day. All right. So there's you, Rob. So for those of you guys that don't know what a subject to is, subject to is a short for subject to the existing financing. So we've got a subject to existing financing. Now, that's a fancy way to basically say that the owner is in trouble, they may be a motivated seller, or they may just not want to deal with the property anymore, and they just want somebody else to take over the existing payment, right? So if the seller is making a payment to the bank, right, because the first thing that Rob says, the first 3 words that Rob asks in his question is that owner has mortgage. So owner has bank financing. Let's say his payments are $1,200 a month to the bank. Right, so we got a bank, money, right? And you are going to now intercede for the owner, right? So you, the buyer, right, in this case, Rob, is now going to take over the payment to the bank and then exchange title and exchange deed. Now, there's a lot of things that's going to happen here when that happens, right? You can't just, the bank is not going to allow just anybody to just take over. Just like they're going to treat it like they're getting a new loan for a person. They're going to ask for financial statements. They're going to ask for, they're going to pull the credit, right? They're going to run a credit report. They're also going to ask for every single little thing in regards to Rob's finances if he were to go through the subject to route, right? So they're going to ask about if he's got a 401k, if he's got a Roth IRA, does he have an HSA, does he have a whole life insurance policy, does it have a cash value? If so, how much? How much money does Rob have in his bank account right now? I mean, they're going to ask every single little thing. And they're going to ask for all sorts of documents, including tax returns, personal financial statements, and basically everything under the sun that's going to describe and give information and clarity to Rob's overall financial situation. So they're going to ask for that, and depending on what happens, they may or may not reject Rob or accept Rob. But if they do accept Rob, what they're going to most likely do is that they might up an interest rate. They might change the terms of the loan. They might ask for some liquidity or something up front just so that Rob can have some skin in the game. There's a lot of things that I've seen banks do too. And overall, this is the main thing that they're trying to do, mitigate the risk. Right, that is the main thing that the banks are going to try to do. Their number one goal is risk assessment. So Rob's going to take it subject to the existing financing. Now, that's what Rob said he would like to do, and he's going to do it a long-term buy and hold, right? Which ideally, if you're doing a subject to, that's mainly why you're doing it for. Your exit strategy is to buy it long-term, buy and hold. Now, in a subject to, because Rob's asking, is that ideal? Well, it honestly depends. In all honesty, there's reasons as to why a seller may want to sell it that way or is willing to go that option. It may be that the seller is in a very extreme situation, and there may be things that the seller does not tell you. So you're going to have to do a lot of research and verification on the condition of the property, the tenants, issues with the city. I know that's a common thing that as to why a seller may be extremely motivated, because the city is coming down on him, and he's in a very unique situation. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue. Should I put the insurance under my name / LLC or leave it in the owner's name? So I've done both. I have done both to where I've bought it on seller financing, and instead of getting my own insurance under my own LLC, what I'll do is I'll just pay the premium on the seller's existing insurance, all escrow cost to the monthly payment to cover that insurance. And it's worked out. There's been a lot of scenarios where that's actually worked out in my favor. In many other scenarios where it hasn't, but I would say the benefits outweigh the negatives. But of course, it all depends on what's going on. It's a 4-unit deal. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I'd be interested to hear more information about this 4-unit, like the income, where is it? How much is the seller asking for? Is there going to be things that, and here's another thing too that I'm really curious about and always keeping in mind when I hear about subject to acquisitions is if the owner has positive equity in the deal with the subject to, which in some scenarios and in many scenarios it happens, especially right now with where we are, in our current market. If the owner has equity in on a deal, yes, your acquisitional strategy is to acquire the building subject to, but what will you do to take care of the owner's equity, right? Because you're taking care of the remaining balance on the loan, but what about the balance that's already been paid by the current owner? What are you going to do to take care of the remaining equity or the positive equity that the seller has in the building? Cash Home Buyers Dallas said, nice. And they also asked, he or she asked, can you elaborate a little about your owner financing course coming out Friday? Seems like the best of all worlds, no tenants, maintenance, but can cash out several ways. All right, so owner financing is one of the most misunderstood topics in the world of real estate investing. And as an individual who primarily actually built almost my whole portfolio, I would say a good 60%, 60-70% of my portfolio through owner financing acquisition, it is one of the most understood concepts out there, and it's, I say the internet, the online real estate investing education space, it's a lot like a game of telephone where, people will say one thing and it just gets passed around, and before you know it, we've discovered this new concept, so to speak. So, the owner I'm not sure if it's coming out on Friday because I'm actually in the studio tomorrow to record it, so I don't know how it will come out on the same week I'm in the studio, but that's really tough. But long story short, we're actually offering a free. That's right, people. Your favorite word, free. We're coming out with a free course on owner financing. It's going to be between an hour and an hour and a half, and we're going to be addressing a lot of what owner financing really is. So for those of you guys that know, we do offer a separate real estate investing education program that has an owner financing class in it. I think that class is 3 hours in and of itself, but we're actually offering a free version. It's going to be an hour to an hour and a half, but it's going to be a free owner financing class that we are going to be offering out and giving out, again, for free. And we're going to try and give it out to as many people as we possibly can because we know that owner financing is probably the hottest topic right now in the world of real estate investing, especially for us. That's honestly the most common question we get. It's about seller financing and owner financing. So we've decided to just, let's put out a free gift for people. So yeah, we're going to be, I don't know when that's coming out, but definitely stay tuned. But we will be coming out with the free owner financing class. Any other questions, guys, on real estate investing? Let me check what's going on here. So yeah, guys, any additional questions about? Oh, here we go. And real quick, can I get someone to get water?
Yeah.
Is that cool? Sorry, I don't mean to be a diva, but you know it's one of the human needs, so to speak. All right, Rob just asked, just to confirm, I should alert the owner's bank about taking over existing terms, right? Or just take deed with bank knowing. So if the bank knows, thank you so much. If the bank knows that you're taking over the existing mortgage, they will most likely reach out to you, and you will most likely like. There's no way the bank is not gonna get involved, because there's. It's very hard. It's very difficult. You know what I mean? It's kind of like it's like kind of trying to sneak out of your house when your mom is, you know, sitting in a chair right next to the door. You know, I've never done that before, but you know, it's nearly impossible for you to sell that building at a closing table without the bank knowing. So a lot of times, you know, they will reach out to you, or you could reach out to them. You know, I've seen the most popular scenario where the seller reaches out to the bank. That's probably predominantly been the most popular scenario that I've seen. So if I were you, I would, you know, try and use this as an opportunity to connect with the seller and work together with the seller, and kind of build that rapport. But yeah, to kind of answer your question, yeah, you should alert the bank, absolutely. Otherwise, they're gonna alert you. And I always say, you know, like, listen, the banks, I understand a lot of people may see them as an evil entity. Yeah, I agree. I mean, for a lot of you guys that know our HELOC strategy and whatnot, you guys know that the banks, they make a lot of their profits in very interesting ways. You know, a lot of people do not realize how banking truly works. And for a lot of individuals that are educated on how the banks really work, you guys will most likely say it's a very unfair way of making money. So, you know, I always say, as evil as many people may see them to be, you want to have a good relationship with the bank, especially your commercial lender. You want to have a good relationship with the bank. You know, you want them to know about your credentials and what you're capable of. So, thanks, Rob, for the question. Any other questions, guys, on anything real estate investing related? Any questions, guys? I'm here, right? I believe it's only, what time is it? It's only 11:16. So we've got another 40 minutes here, 40 to 45 minutes of me answering your guys' questions. Any additional questions, guys? Well, for the sake of the people watching the recording, I guess I should kind of talk about what I've got going on right now in the world of real estate investing. So we're currently working on some bigger deals. We're working on. I partnered with an individual who, you know, owns a fund, and I'm also constructing that on my end as well. And we have a lot of capital in the works, and we're going after a couple large buildings in the South Region area. My partner and I also are working on some bigger apartments in Florida, Central Florida and North Florida. So if you know any individuals that are selling their apartment complexes, anything 50 units or over, let me know, right? Let me know. There is equity. Property is in Maryland, just trying to minimize closing costs and getting prop in LLC. Okay, that's smart, right? Okay, so there is equity. So in that scenario, there's a lot of things you can do. My favorite way of doing it, if the owner is up for it, it's one of the things that I try and negotiate often, is what I try and do is I try and attach a note, carry back a note after the balance has been paid off. So let me kind of explain what I mean by that. So I'm going to try to stay here as much as I can. Okay, I'm going to try and stay here as much as I can. So in this scenario, right, so you have the seller. Come on. Wow, this is really bad. I'm going to get another marker. Is it okay if we use red? Are we good with using red? All right, cool. I found purple. Found purple, people. It's one of my favorite colors. Okay. So we got a seller. Oh, yeah. Okay, seller. Let's say that the property is bought for $300,000. let's say seller has $50,000 worth of equity, positive equity, and there's $250,000 left on the loan. And let's say there's 17 years left. Bank, okay, wonderful. And then there's you. All right, so when you're doing a subject to, you're basically taking over this process right here. We've already talked about that. We talked about for the next 17 years, you are responsible for paying off this $250,000. Now, if you carry back a note, right? So in this case scenario, we would call it a subject to acquisition, right? So subject to acquisition with a seller finance note attached to the back, aka seller finance note carried back. Meaning that after the 17 years is over, you now create a new note after the 17 years for the $50,000 with interest, potentially down payment, but that's questionable, and the purchase price technically of $50,000, right? So in that case scenario, right after the 17 years is done, you can then do like a 13-year note for $50,000 with 4% interest. And that's gonna, all that payment goes directly to the seller, not to the bank anymore. Now, what I've seen a lot of people do, to kind of get some money up front, just so that the seller can walk away with some cash. I've also seen subject to the bank, 17 years, taking care of the remaining $250,000, but also pay, right? So like take $10,000 out from the owner's equity and then do kind of like a $10,000 cash up front, like at closing. And then 17 years later, when the note is paid off, you now do it for $40,000 instead of $50,000. So I have seen people do that. That's personally my favorite way if a scenario is to occur, to where the seller has some positive equity. They want to get rid of the building fast, and they want somebody to be able to take care and take over their mortgage payment. So that's something that I've seen a lot happen. So okay, so in this case, Rob just said the asking price is $200,000, mortgage is $87,000. So in this scenario, the owner has quite a bit of equity in the building, right? Looks like he's got $113,000 worth of equity in the building. So it may be a scenario where he may want more money up front because he has paid off a lot of the equity. So in this case scenario, you may even do the $87,000, which I'm guessing is going to be paid off in like 10 years, 5 to 10 years, depending on how long the seller has had his mortgage for, what his loan term is. So he may want, so because he has $113,000, he may want 20% of that positive equity paid up front. Now the good news is that it's gonna benefit you long term, because now you're talking about less money that you're gonna have in terms of the note after the subject to transaction acquisition has worn off. So, if you do like a 20%, which in my opinion on a subject to is rather generous, usually because subject to brings on a motivated seller instance and a lot of hectic scenarios, extreme scenarios, I'd say shoot for closer to like 10-15%. That way, you have positive equity of $113,000, you're giving $11,300. That's still a pretty good chunk of change, especially when you're talking about, a 4-unit at $200,000. Okay, cool. It's in Maryland. Where? Just out of curiosity, where in Maryland? Is it in like Columbia, Maryland, or is it in like Baltimore area? Just out of curiosity. Christopher sounds like a drink from Starbucks. Christopher asked, "Do you wholesale?" I don't wholesale typically, because if I have a deal come across my lap and it's a good deal and I could make some money giving it away to somebody, number one, it's a good deal. I probably would want to do it myself. And number two, we get a lot of deals here at the Kwak Brothers, right? Because of our marketing efforts and obviously our YouTube audience and we get a lot of deals sent to us, and Hagerstown. All right, cool. I'll have to do some research on Hagerstown, Maryland. But anyway, because we get a lot of deals sent to us, I think in 2018 I got 1,300 deals sent to me. 1,300. That's pretty much 4 a day. I get 4 deals, which it's not a lot, right? It's really not a whole lot. But I got 1,300 deals sent to me, and if it's a deal that I don't want to move on, that I don't think it's good enough for me, like ethically, I don't know if I'm comfortable with giving it to someone else. Because if me, a real estate expert with access to a lot of capital and a large network, if I can't make the deal work, then why should I expect somebody else that I wholesale it to make it work? And I'm not trying to sound arrogant or anything like that, but for me, I know a lot of investors that are out there, especially right now in 2019, that are trying to get their real estate investing thing going. Chances are, in terms of probability and in terms of percentage, chances are that they haven't invested in for a while. They don't have a whole lot of experience. And for me to put somebody in that scenario, for me to make a quick buck, I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. And plus, I know a lot of my time could be delegated towards doing more important things, like speaking with my investors, building relationship with my investors, and things of that nature, so to speak. But good question. A lot of people, it's a great way to make money right now. I think a lot of people should wholesale, especially because a lot of people that want to buy and invest, so to speak. Let's keep the questions coming, guys. Keep the questions coming. Let's see where we're at here. All right, guys, any additional questions? What was I talking about? Oh, things that have going on in real estate right now. Large apartment complexes. I'm still doing my nightly rental projects currently. Airbnb. We actually have some really wicked stuff that's going on. We had somebody that booked a couple days and they paid like $4,400. We had some really cool people stay. We had a lot of families. It's a 4-2, so we're able to accommodate up to 10 people. I think 12 if you really kind of squeeze them in, but we're able to accommodate 10 people. So it's a money-making machine right now, actually. So I do have investors that are wanting to get involved. So pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. All right, guys, let's keep the questions coming. If not, I'll just end this thing early and I'll just go eat Mediterranean food. That's what I'm craving today. Yeah, let's keep the questions coming. Let's see. Yeah, guys, we have 30 minutes left. We have 25 to 30 minutes left on this chat. So if any of you guys have any real estate investing questions, feel free to let us know. If not, exciting news. I'll just go over some announcements that I usually do at the end. Exciting news, like a lot of you guys have heard, we do have a free owner financing class that's coming out. We also released, obviously, our real estate investing education accelerator program a couple months ago. That's got some exciting stuff. We're also adding on new classes. The class that is next, we're going to be actually talking about real estate investing syndications. So we will have some guest speakers along with myself helping out and giving value and content on syndications. So stay in tune for that. All right, we got 3 questions right off the gate. Cool. On each property, what is the cash reserve you have for each one? For example, for vacancy when tenants move. So depending on the area and the classification, it does differ. So there's 4 different classifications of real estate. So we got class, man, what is up with our markers? You want to hand me the red one? Thank you, sir. Whee! All right, class, oh my gosh, yes. Okay, class A, we have class B, class C, and class D. And it kind of goes from best condition to worst condition. And also considering area as well. So with Class A, with the best type of buildings, I typically have, okay, thank you very much. I typically will have about 1 month's rent per unit. So if the rent is $1,500 and it's a 4-unit and it's a Class A building, I'll typically have $6,000 in reserve for that building. If it's Class B, I typically go with typically 2 months rent, because the difference between Class A and Class B is not too far, especially in considering your tenant quality and your maintenance demands that needs to be done every single time. And also quality of tenant and the income, right? There's not a whole lot of differences between Class A and Class B multifamily buildings, so I typically would go with 2 months rent. So in the previous example, 12,000, kind of just double that. Now in Class C is where we start getting a little frisky. So typically, depending on where it's at and what type of Class C, I'll typically go 3 to 5 months rent per unit. So PU stands for per unit. So in many scenarios in Class C, if the rent is around $1,000 or $800, then I'll typically get 5 months rent, which, in a 4-unit, you're talking about 832 times 5, you're looking at 16. So around 16,000 in terms of a reserve. Now, that might be a little too much, right? So now that I kind of say it out loud, it kind of does sound a little strange. So I'm just going to go ahead and change it to 3 months. Because I don't think I ever had, a $16,000 reserve on a 4-unit building. And on Class D, right, I'll typically go around 4 to 5 months. On large apartment complexes, I'll typically do 10% of the down payment is what I have in reserve. Just because with larger apartment buildings, there's a lot less that quote unquote needs to be done, because you do have one roof for a lot of units. So, stuff like the furnace, the water heater, you don't have to replace those as often. I'm sorry, not as often, but it's going to take care of more income, so to speak, right? Oh, so did our microphone fall? Yeah. Okay, cool. So sorry, guys, if you had audio issues. Our microphone kind of went limp a little there. So I think we should be good. I think Dave is going to do some additional sound checks. Here, I'll wait to kind of speak, because I know that microphone's really sensitive. At least you get a view of Dave's back. Dave's been hitting the gym, ready for this moment for you guys, I'm sure. All right, guys. Sorry. Yeah. So anonymous. Some of the names. It says volume very low. Yeah, so we actually had a microphone kind of just fall a little there and went limp on the stand. So we got it fixed. The volume should be good now. Yeah, it should be good. So as I was saying, in terms of a cash reserve, if it's a larger apartment complex, for example, if we're buying, a 100-unit building and we're buying it for $10 million. And the down payment is $3 million. Then typically I'll raise, anywhere, but depending on the classification of the apartment, I'll typically have between 10 and 20% of the down payment be the cash reserve. So anywhere between $300,000 to $600,000 will be in the reserves. And when I say reserves up front, that could also include stuff like capital expenditures, new carpet, new paint, because with construction that can go very quickly, can go very fast. All right, are most of your sub 2 expires or pre-foreclosure listings? I just log on. Are most of my what, Phil? Most of your sub 2. Oh, got it. I know what you're asking. So, are most of my subject tos expired or pre-foreclosure listings? So, I'm guessing you're talking about the MLS, right? So, expired listings or pre-foreclosure. They can be, but a lot of times subject tos are just overall motivated sellers. So, whatever falls underneath motivated sellers. So, pre-foreclosures would make sense because obviously the foreclosure is happening because they can't pay for their mortgage, and you may have to be the one that catches them up on their payments and also continues it. So that is a possibility as well. But also do not be fooled, because if they're in a rough situation, you may have to ask yourself, what's stopping you from falling in the same trap, right? When you're looking for in multifamily, do you stay in your area? I am in Dallas, Texas, and would like to search for stuff and have someone with knowledge to help. Yeah, so right now I live in the Chicagoland area. So, in the Chicagoland area, there are a lot of great opportunities for rentals, but at the same time, I am also looking for deals in the South region, so also North and Central Florida. So I would say that I don't stay in my area right now, but at the same time, it is also a plus. So I know that if I'm investing out of area, I have to accommodate for like travel. I know I'm going to have to raise a little bit more money. So that's something to keep in mind, right? That's something to very much keep in mind. If you're in the Dallas area, I think that's a great area right now to invest in. So a lot of it just comes with market research, And I always say that those deals can be done everywhere. I'm a very firm believer in that you can do deals anywhere. Just about it's just a matter of you being able to raise the capital and build an awesome team. Um, People live everywhere, and housing is one of the human needs, obviously. So I say if you're just starting out, like if you don't have a whole lot of experience in syndications and 506s, and you're not you're not an expert investor, then I would say stick to kind of your local area. It would be beneficial because no one knows that market like you do. And that's the main thing. Like I know the Chicagoland area very well. Like if you told me a city, I could tell you who lives there, what demographic, what type of income. So that's mainly what I'm gonna go ahead and refer to. Any other questions, guys? I'm glad we got the mic fixed and the audio is working properly. Any other questions? Let's keep it coming, right? Let's keep it coming. We got 20 minutes left. Yeah, 15 to 20 minutes left on this live feed. So let's go ahead and keep it going, guys. 20 minutes is a long time. 25 minutes is a long time to answer people's questions with real estate investing. I don't know why I'm always hungry when I do these things. You know what? Do this for me. If you don't have a real estate investing question, type in your favorite food and why, right? Let's get a little interaction going. Phil asks, when will you have the owner financing class? So yeah, so the free owner financing class that we are releasing will most likely, I will be in the studio tomorrow, depending on when my guys are free that are operating the cameras and doing the videos. Depending on when they're free, I'm going to try and get in the studio tomorrow or possibly even do it this afternoon. But I know I am going to have a special guest, Mr. Steve Hamilton, our very own in-house tax and legal instructor. He's going to be filming with me on part of the aspects. We're going to be talking about the tax benefits of it. So we will be getting down to the nitty and gritty when it comes to owner financing. So we're going to be talking about that. I'm going to be interviewing him. It's going to be a short 20-30 minute segment along with an hour of me talking about what is owner financing and also how to negotiate owner financing. We're going to be talking about that as well. So to answer your question, long story short, I honestly don't know, but it will be very soon. It's either going to be this week or next week. If it's not out by August, I will be very surprised. But it will 99% be out in the month of July, most likely next week. But I will be in the studio either today, tomorrow, or Wednesday, meaning that it'll probably get edited and put together and mastered by next week. Trichy said, I got $50,000. Good for you. There's a lot you can do with $50,000. You could buy a Tesla Model 3. You could buy 50,000 bags of Cheetos. You could also buy the very, very, very affordable Kwak Brothers Real Estate Investing Accelerator Program. You could also be one of my one-on-one clients for that amount of money. Cash home buyers out, steak and baked potato. Always, yeah, man. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Personally, my favorite food is southern food, southern comfort food. So like country fried steak, fried chicken, gravy, mashed potatoes, green beans, cornbread. I mean, I love cornbread. Ribs. Oh my gosh, I love ribs. All right, before I get too far, okay. How do you calculate and make sure you have a positive cash flow on a property you're looking to get? So the biggest mistake that I see people make when they are running numbers is not that they're not able to do math. Like everybody's able to do math. Everybody's able to take $1,000 in rent, subtract taxes, subtract, right? We all can do addition and multiplication. The biggest mistake that I see people make is not verifying those numbers. So when I say verifying those numbers, they use the numbers that comes off like pro formas, marketing brochures, and brokers packets. When you're analyzing a deal, these are the last things that you want to look at. Instead, you want to verify your numbers with T12, which a T12 stands for trailing 12-month report. So this is talking about income and expenses. And also Schedule E and or Form 8825. So this is if it's the property is held under an entity. This is personal name. Now, what are these two forms? I'm glad you asked, Daniel, which is me. These are IRS forms that calculate and report income and expenses. So the brokers, pro formas, marketing brochures, will try and bend the numbers, aka lie to you, because they want you to buy the building as high of a price as possible. Makes sense, because brokers make a commission. They make more money if you pay a higher price. The sellers also obviously make more money if you pay a higher price. But you're a smart, educated investor because you're on this online platform. You're not an idiot. You're an educated real estate investor, right? Thumbs up with a smiley face, right? So here's what you're going to do. You're going to get a T12, and you're also going to get a Schedule E and or Form 8825 that's going to verify the income and expenses, and you're going to find out if they're lying to you. If they are lying, chances are they are lying about a lot of different things, like the condition of the property, financing details, issues with the city, inspection, all of the above, right? So great way to verify your deal and your numbers. Dan, when completed, where do I find the owner financing video? Yeah, so stay tuned. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. We will put out most likely a video announcement. We will also be putting it out on multiple different Facebook groups. You can also check out the kwakbrothers.com/program. So why don't I go ahead and write it down? Are they able to see this part?
Yeah.
They are? Okay. All right, the Kwak Brothers. .com/programs or /learn. Any one of those two will get you to the same site, or just check out the kwakbrothers.com. Stay tuned for that because we will be putting out the free owner financing class, all for you guys. And let us know. Let me know if you guys are on the online stream right now. I do have an outline for the class, but I haven't gotten in the studio. That's most likely going to happen tomorrow. Let me know. Let me know what you're looking for, right? Let me reward the people that are on the live stream right now, right? Give you some incentive for you to come back next week on Monday at 11 a.m. Central Time. Let me give you some incentive. What are some things that you guys are looking for in the owner financing class? Like, put it on the chat right now, right? So aside from any real estate questions, put on the chat, what are you looking for in the owner financing class? I got an hour to an hour and a half in the class, and then we're going to get deep down, right? Let me know. Let me know what you're looking for. Help me help you, right? We've got 10 minutes left on this thing. Help me help you. 10, 15 minutes left. Matt Smith with the thumbs up. I knew a Matt Smith. Matt Smith was the director of recreational activities in my former alma mater of Olivet Nazarene University. So if Matt Smith, if that's you, if you are the director of recreational activities at Olivet, what's up, man? It's good to see you again. But yeah, let me know, guys. We're putting together the class. We've had 3 comments now on the owner financing video and the class. So let me know. Let me know what I could do to help you. Help me help you, right? And also any other real estate investing questions. Okay. Looking for in detail how the contracts work in seller financing, buyer side and seller side, any addendums that go with them as well. Okay, cool. So contract stuff. JW, I asked, I have 70,000 second position HELOC. Is there a big savings if I decide to pay a lump sum of 30,000 to my principal versus paying 4 $10,000 increments over a year? So the whole point of paying lump sum to your principal is bringing down your average daily balance, that's what your interest is compounded upon. So for me, the smaller that average daily balance and sooner, the more money you save. So I guess that kind of answers your question. Can you explain the blindside HUD in detail? I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know what a you're gonna have to provide me more clarity on that. What do you mean the blindside HUD? I've heard of blindside HUD, but more details would be nice. JW asked, do you recommend transferring unsecured debt to secured debt as part of debt consolidation strategy? I'm gonna refer you to Wednesday at 11 a.m. My brother is gonna be covering the debt, anything debt stuff. So paying off the debt. That's more for Wednesday. So I'm gonna refer you to him. What are the questions? What are the questions you ask broker or seller when walking around the apartment building? So it depends on the condition. So I'll talk about, did you get an appraisal? Did you get inspection done? What is that? So kind of as I see fit. But I also like to bring my contractor and or property manager with me, just in case they see some potential issues up front. And also, typically my job, because I don't know if I want to be talking about the property and to the owner at the same time. But primarily, my job is to talk to the owner, because business at the end of the day is about people. And if I'm able to ask questions to the owner and develop a relationship and do a lot of these different things that I need to for the sake of my negotiation, I know that's a win. Because no matter what the property looks like, as long as I'm able to do business with the seller, that's a win in my book. That's the road to success. Bill Allen said, hey folks, don't forget to click on the thumbs up for this video. Yeah, thank you, Bill. I appreciate that compliment. Thank you so much, Bill. Thank you for the support. Really appreciate you. Let's see. Any other questions, guys? It's currently 11:48. If not, I'll go ahead and chew off some announcements, and we'll go ahead and wrap this video. So again, guys, stay tuned. I will be in the studio tomorrow, as I am now. Okay, blindside HUD prevents you from having to double close. Transactions hide the amount made. Oh, okay, I see. Got it. I don't know if I've dealt with that too much. I know in some states a double close is prohibited. Especially in my home state of Illinois. But I usually do a multifamily apartment complex buildings. But I will try and get that answer for you. Come back next Monday and ask the same thing. I'll try and get an answer for you. How about drawing a free copy? How about a drawing for a free copy of your book? That'd be weird because my book is already free. So I mean, I can do a drawing just for fun if you guys are bored. But it's already free, so you guys don't have to draw. You could just go click and get a copy for yourself. How do you get that copy? Go to the kwakbrothers.com/learn. You could also go to 0to75units.com. I know that that is a way to access our free book as well. 0to75units.com. That's a good way to access. Actually, let me see if that is. 0 to. Yep, there we go. So 0 to 75 units, it should take us to the Kwak Brothers, right? What if we actually showed you the first step to go from 0 to 75 rental units in just 1 year? Grab your free copy of 0 to 75 units in 1 year now, right? So all you guys have to do is just put in your first name and email, and you will literally just get a free book, right? So all you guys have to do is just pay for shipping, free book. So I actually wrote it for the intentions of being distributed for free. So I try and give as much stuff as I possibly can for free, especially the hour, on Monday, the free book, and also now the free class. So I enjoy it, right? I enjoy giving things out for free. So I think that's I think it's cool, Ashlyn Samson, hi, nice to meet you, Ashlyn. Hey, I didn't realize you guys had a YouTube. I'll be here watching videos. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support. And thank you guys, right? So if you guys don't have any other questions, let's go ahead and wrap this up. So stay in tune, guys, for the free owner financing class we do have coming out. And as usual, we do have additional resources that you guys are able to grab if you guys want to learn more, including the book and also our Real Estate Accelerator program. Feel free to check that out at thekwakbrothers.com/programs or /learn. If you want the free book, go to 0 to 75 units.com. So thank you guys. Much love to you. Praying for you guys as always. Have a great Monday. Have a great week. And I'll see you guys next week, 11 a.m. Central Time.